Good evening or afternoon, everybody. I will be getting started here shortly once I get added on to the Tornado Tacklers live stream on YouTube. Just a little bit longer. One of our chasers is asking for Soundy in Memphis, so I'm pulling it up right now for him. Give me just 1 second. Let's see. All right. I just got the go ahead to start doing my thing. So let's do this. So currently, I'm gonna look at the satellite imagery. Look at how insane this low is. It is. I think it's probably the strongest storm I have ever seen in my history of living. I've never seen anything like it. All this dust is coming in from all the desert and wrapping around into the center of that vortex. And so it's causing a lot of wildfires in Oklahoma, a lot of pileups and of traffic and stuff like that. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I can in another time, but right now I'm more concerned about the moderate threat that has been extended all the way south into the Delta region of Mississippi and Louisiana. So let's go over their what the SPC has in their discussion. All right, so for the 20Z update, widespread significant severe weather remains likely this afternoon and over tonight for much of the Mississippi Valley and parts of the southeast. So that's a summary. Pretty much there's a really, like I said, that really strong low pressure system is going to continue making its way out east, and so with that you're going to have just increasing winds aloft. It's a recipe for disaster. Don't use that word too lightly. So definitely pay attention to the local weather services and the tornado watches and warnings that you'll be receiving if you live in that red area. Let's go over how it's currently looking so far. All right, so this is for 21Z, which is that's around 4 p.m. Let's go to current time. 5:30. I'll do 6 o'clock. All right, so we got this really strong mid-level jet at 500 millibars, around 110 knots, and that is going to be what the one of the driving factors for the severe weather threat today or tonight. You can see those are southwesterly winds, and so on the northern mode, gonna have a lot of severe thunderstorms and a squall line threat. Farther south, the winds are a little more perpendicular. Upper level winds are a little more perpendicular for the surface layer winds. So what that means is going to be some potential discrete supercell development as we go farther south. And that's more prevalent the farther south we get. All right, let's look at the Cape for right now. Pretty strong over Arkansas and Louisiana. Don't know if the Cape in Louisiana is gonna be playing much of anything right now, but it might. It should later on tonight. One thing with the Cape, if you have tons of Cape, but you don't have the lapse rates of the air parcel to get that lift that it needs, it's wasted energy really. So let's take a look at the lapse rates. Pretty much, I should go over what lapse rates are. It's how fast the air cools with height over a kilometer. So 7.3 Celsius, 7.3 degrees Celsius per kilometer with height. So that's pretty high. I want to say the range for lapse rates is between 6 degrees Celsius per kilometer and 10 degrees Celsius per kilometer. So 7.48, it's really high. It's not good, especially with the Cape that we saw. All right, so I'm just pulling this random sounding from in Louisiana. The photograph doesn't look like too much is gonna happen, but the sounding over here, it's a little concerning because you have this elevated mix layer right in here with that little warm nose, and so it's going to be creating a little bit of convective inhibition Not too much though. So actually, let me see if there's a better, more realistic sounding that we might get. And by the way, this is my first time looking at this model run. I've been looking at weather since 4 in the morning. It's quite literally my job. I'm doing this. I'm doing this for the love of it. I'm doing nothing. Yeah, just doing it for the pure love of it. Wow, look at this significant tornado parameter. That is insane. Let me zoom in on this. .2. That is. Gosh. Okay. Let's see how this plays out going into later tonight. It just gets worse. It is getting worse. A few hours ago when I was looking at this, it was not this high. Let me do the model trends. All right, so this is the same time, just over the different model runs. So I'm gonna start at the most recent model run time and go backwards and show you guys. So it looks like the overall trend from beginning over here to the end, the latest one, it's a generally upward trend in the Sigtor parameter. Oh my gosh, that is insane. 9. Wow. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm looking at this photograph right here. It is very curved. Wow. Okay. Whew, this is insane. Let me see what that is. Okay, southeast Missouri. Let's take a look at these lapse rates here. Go back to single image. All right. So we got some pretty modest cape between 1,000 and 1,700. See if we have the lapse rates to support it, which we do. I would like to see slightly higher lapse rates for this to really scream strong tornado. I'm talking in terms of weather, not in terms of safety. Right now, like seeing lower lapse rates, it's a good thing. I would much rather see those, but having those higher lapse rates is not good for in terms of safety, especially since this is going to be a nighttime threat. Jeez. Okay. So yeah, let's analyze this. So right now, actually, let's go to the real life soundings that have happened. Oh, good, we're getting some more soundings in. Okay, so let me pull up the previous sounding for Little Rock as well, so I can go over what I'm looking at for you guys. All right, so this is from 1900 Zulu, which that is 19. That's 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time. They did a special sounding for this setup today, just because of how dangerous it's going to be. It's the first moderate risk that we have for this year, first one in a while too. So people aren't necessarily going to be, not going to be ready. It's like warming up before a workout. If you don't do it, you're not gonna perform at your best. So looking at this, the temperatures and the dew points are relatively close. However, we have this warm nose right here. It's called a capping inversion. And so what that does, it limits the amount of convection that is allowed to move up into the free atmosphere beyond the layer of free convection, or the LFC. And so if the individual air parcel is not able to get past this warm nose, then nothing's going to happen. However, since we got the newest sounding, it looks like we have some daytime heating that happened, and so therefore also we got some more moisture pumping into the area too, so that's going to help increase the Cape too. So we got the Gulf, the moist air moving in, we got daytime heating happening, and so even just 1 degree Fahrenheit, that's all it takes. So we got all of this right here is what it's the path that the air parcel takes in the atmosphere. Quite a bit to it, but just know that you follow this line to see what the atmosphere is doing. So the cap is broken. This warm inversion right here, the capping inversion, and the red dotted line, they're not intersecting anymore. So you're gonna have all complete Cape. You have, yeah. Let's see. So the mixed layer Cape, 1073, surface 2252. It looks like a pretty well mixed environment. What I mean by that is in the elevated area, it's not the dew point and temperature are not close together. They're more separated. So 1073 Cape is what I would be looking at. And at the winds, we have some pretty sheared winds. We have southerly winds at the surface and all the way to the equilibrium layer or level, which is where that's where you see what the thunderstorms anvil out, west southwest. So we have the southerly wind at the surface, west wind up at the near the jet stream. It's going to be what drives the threat for discrete supercells farther up northeast tonight, because all this energy is just moving north. Looking at the photograph over here too, looks pretty curved still, so that's a good indicator of wind shear. Gosh, I am really cold. I'll be right back. I'm going to turn my heater on. All right, sorry about that. I'm shivering over here trying to keep it together, but I just couldn't take it anymore. So photograph, pretty curved. It could be worse. However, it's Little Rock isn't part of the biggest threat area, so this is a decent indicator of what's to come. Let's take a look at Jackson. It's a pretty similar story to Little Rock. Notice how that warm nose is a little further closer to the surface too. You got higher temps in Jackson as well. So once we get some more moisture pumping in later tonight, you'll see this inversion either increase or decrease. I've honestly forget right now. but you'll have the temperature and the dew point come closer together, and so we could have that cap break. And this is even more sheared. Wow. It's due south winds at the surface and due west at the equilibrium level. That is absolutely nuts. Insane. Let's go back over here. I'm just checking to see if there's anything that was issued while I'm streaming. All right. So yeah, we've gone over the lapse rates. We've gone over the Cape. We've gone over the mid-level jet and how it's going to be affecting the storms for tonight, and also how strong the wind shear is with that perpendicular flow at the upper levels. All in all, we're going to have some possible discrete supercells tonight, right? In the region that's, oh my gosh, oh, okay, right in the region that is just, I would say primarily right in here. Everything else is going to be a wind-driven threat. So if actually I'm gonna pull it up. Yep. So everything in this area right here, just as I was saying, gonna be potential discrete supercells becoming a squall line threat later on in the evening. And this is just day one of the storms. We're gonna have quite a bit more. Could have really, really bad weather tomorrow. You should have a little bit of fear for your life, a respectable amount for respect for weather. I do not use those words lightly. It's not to spread fear. It's not to make everyone panic. It's real. It's here, and you need to know where to go for your safe place. You need to know what to do. So I'll go over that some of that stuff too. If you don't have a basement, go to the lowest level that you possibly can in the most interior room in your house. Typically that's like a closet and a bedroom or something like that. If you're not able to do that, go to a bathtub and cover yourself up with blankets, pillows, a bed. I've seen stories where people have gone through an EF5 tornado with a bed over their body, and it saved their life in the bathtub. So it's some legit stuff. If you're in a car and you're stuck in the middle of a path of a tornado, don't go in an underpass. Go into a ditch and get underneath your car if possible. If you're not able to, then just hunker down in your car, get as low as possible, or go into a culvert if you're able to as well. So now you're blocking yourself from those winds. My brain is scattered all over the place right now. Pretty exhausting day today. I've been focusing on these couple of days for the weather threat quite a bit over the past week as well. So thanks for joining me on my first live stream that I had a pretty difficult time setting up. Yeah, that's all I got so far. I will probably be on tomorrow to do another live stream for the day 2 high risk threat. Bye.